What's happening, guys? So this is our 16-week out competition prep vlog. So today we're going to talk a little bit about possible changes to the plan for competing, just based on how progress is going over the last couple of weeks. So first off, let's talk a little bit about progress this week. So weight is still coming down slowly. So we are roughly around about 91 kilos, which is down from around 95 kilos at the beginning of January. So slower than we would like, and this is possibly just due to my body taking its time to kind of react and get going. Although there is physical changes that I've posted up during the week through pictures and videos, so things are changing. But it did lead to a discussion with my coach during the week that the plan to compete in the middleweight category may not be the best option. So the middleweight category in both natural federations is 80 kilos. So that would require me to come down another 11 kilos to be ready for that upper level of the middleweight category. And we're already starting to see kind of body fat coming off around the back. There's still quite a lot to come off around the lower half of the body and the front. But having said that, I think sucking myself down to 80 kilos or below might leave my physique looking worse. Now, what do I mean by that? So people often, chase obviously condition. Yes, you have to be in condition to get on stage. That's just non-negotiable. However, people often get into this this kind of cycle where they chase that extra little bit just to get under that weight category, and they start to look flat and stringy, and their body just looks stressed, and it's not your best look. So if it turns out that I am ready to get on stage and I'm around 82 kilos or 83 kilos, for example, then we just need to do heavyweight. So it's a good and bad thing, because then you're not really restricted now by a weight category, you're by a weight limit. You just have to get as lean as you can. So it takes a little bit of pressure off that way. So we just have to kind of move forward and see where the weight falls in around 16 weeks time. So changes this week, after check-in, we decided to increase our NEAT levels a bit more. So we are now doing a total of 60 minutes walking on the treadmill specifically. So currently I do 40 minutes first thing in the morning every day, another 20 minutes at some point throughout the day, whether that's after training in the gym or whether it's at home. I tend to find doing it before my evening meal. It gets my digestion going, it gets my appetite going, and then I just enjoy that meal a little bit more. So that's what we're doing at the moment. There's still no cardio as such, no kind of intense cardio where your heart rate is going to be more elevated. So we don't have anything like that at the moment. That probably will come in. But like I've spoke about before, there's no point in adding in cardio right at the beginning, unless you've got a huge amount of weight to lose, because your body does adapt and adjust to cardiovascular exercise quite fast. So you're just going to have to do more and more and more to sustain that calorie deficit. So it's almost like you want to time it right and use it at the right time. So we will be bringing that in at some point. Calories haven't changed at all. We're still enjoying, well, you've seen my pictures, we're still enjoying meals. I'm keeping things really varied with my protein sources. So I think since I started prep, my protein sources have included the usual eggs, whey protein, chicken, But I've also been adding in salmon, steak mince, and yesterday and the last few days prawns, and there was some seafood last night. So I made a seafood stir fry which had prawns, crayfish tails, squid, and some mussels. Now, it gave me a much bigger pile of food, so the volume on the plate was bigger, so it kept me a lot fuller. But in actual fact, the calories for that pile of seafood was less than the 200 grams of salmon that I would have used. So it gave me more protein, there was hardly any fat, and it allowed me to have a little bit more fat later on in the evening. So I had a little bit more peanut butter in my oats that I have before bed. And that's just the way I wanted to do it yesterday. Tomorrow I might do something different. I think a lot of people, they go super strict on their diet from day one, and they don't realise that 5 or 6 months on prep is a long time, especially if you are restricting yourself from the get-go and having plain, boring, bland foods that you can count on one hand the sources that you're using. And it's really a contributor to being, let's face it, a fucking basket case when you get to the show day or peak week, because you've effectively given yourself an eating disorder. And I've spoken about this quite a lot. So obviously towards the end of prep, things do need to be more dialed in, more strict and more focused. Not more focused, but probably a bit more controlled. But there's no point in making things even harder for yourself at the beginning, just to have that huge diet fatigue and mental health or mental issues at the end when it comes to food. So yeah, I've seen people go down that road before, and it's certainly not something I'm going to go down again. And it's certainly not something I expect any of my clients who compete to go down that road. And I think I've proven that before with people getting on stage, doing well, placing, winning, and not being mentally affected when they come off stage, and just being able to seamlessly move back into normal life. So yeah, that's my take on prep. I did obviously speak about some injuries last week. Those have cleared up, and I've done a post on this about how I view training as I'm getting older. And training is something, obviously you can't go 100% beast mode all the time in training. There does come a time where your body is going to let you know that you have to slow down or you have to pull back a little bit, and that comes through injury. Your body then reacts to injury, you get inflammation, and you can't train the same way. So through self-care work after I injured my lower back, and through the guys at Airdrie Chiropractic Clinic, Ross and Luke, they've managed to resolve those issues. And it's almost like the analogy I used was training is kind of like driving a Formula One car, where you're in the home stretch, the foot goes to the floor, and that's where you're going all out with your training, maximum intensity. You're trying to increase your progressive overload in your lifts every single session. And then you kind of hit a corner or a chicane, and you have to take the foot off the gas a little bit. And this is when you're approaching a deload phase, or you're recovering or recuperating from an injury. And you just need to negotiate that little bit more intelligently before you move into the next stretch or straight and put the foot down again. So I'm currently at the phase where I am just about to put the foot down. Probably that'll be happening today, and move forward with my training. So we're not looking to bring down the weight or bring down the loading at the moment, or the intensity. We're still looking to pick up PBs wherever we can. There's no reason why we can't. On prep, things will get hard at the end, but the main battle with training through a competition prep diet is maintaining that focused intensity and maintaining that mindset to be able to continue to lift the same amount, and not just accepting that you're going to get weak, which will, like I said, will happen at some point, but you are in control of that. So that's kind of the update at the moment. Calories are still kind of low for someone of my size, around about 2,400, 2,500 calories, but I'm pretty sedentary at work during the day. Unless I'm training or doing my walking or walking the dog, then I'm pretty sedentary, so I'm not overly hungry on those calories. So no doubt when we add in cardio, the hunger will start to come through a lot more. So I can afford to go a bit lower in my calories, but keeping protein around about 200 grams. Still training 3 days on, 1 day off, through a push-pull legs approach. Kind of more focused towards chest or delts in those 2 push sessions, or more focused towards quads or hamstrings in the leg sessions. But nothing's really changed training wise. I did post yesterday about a new thing that I'm doing. So I have decided to join up the Mac Nutrition Uni course. So this is probably the UK's leading evidence-based nutrition course, focusing on everything from the fundamentals of nutrition straight through to the finer detail and advanced protocols for performance-based athletes, bodybuilders, sport, team sport athletes. So that's going to be really, really good for making sure we are delivering the best service we can at Team All or Nothing, and giving people the education they need to see that long-term success. So that's a wrap up for 16 weeks out. We just keep pushing forward. We keep ticking the boxes daily, from your supplementation to your meals, to your daily steps, to your hydration, to your stretching, your sleep, stress management. Everything just gets ticked off every day. It does become quite repetitive, but repetitive, relentless execution is what is needed when you're on prep. So we go again next week. We'll find out about changes tomorrow, and we'll implement those next week and see where we are next week on the 15-week out mark for this vlog. Have an awesome weekend, guys, and I'll see you when we are 15 weeks out.